Si us sembla, reprenem la jornada i anem amb la darrera part d'aquesta mateixa. Ara tenim el torn de la taula rodona dedicada als socis europeus, com us apuntava abans, que presentaran els avenços realitzats i contribuiran a identificar les línies de treball que guiaran la propera fase. Hi participen i, per tant, convido a que m'acompanyin a l'escenari. Per una banda, el Moran i Consell del Comtat de Romsdal, de Noruega, el Centre d'Innovació Lituà, l'Oficina del Mariscal del Voivodat, de Matsòvia, Polònia, l'Agència de Desenvolupament de Matsòvia, l'Agència de Desenvolupament Local d'Anatòlic i de Grècia, la Universitat de Limerick i la Fundació de l'Innovació CECOT. Aquesta taula la moderarà la Júlia Moll, tècnica del projecte PROACTsme. Ok? Vinga, m'acompanyeu? Come on. All of you to the scenarios, please.
M'han dit que segui jo aquí, sí. You're right after me, yeah. No, it will be in English. Yeah, there should sit, well, it was just for Carolina. Esperem. Right. Esperem a la Carolina o...? Bé, moltes gràcies, Natàlia, per la introducció. Ara començarem la taula rodona amb els socis, que faran les seves aportacions i les seves contribucions sobre les seves experiències en serveis proactius. I canviarem a l'anglès. We're going to start with our partners in Norway, the Moran Romsdal County Council. We believe your institution is implementing an AI center aimed at both the education and the SME sector. And my question for you is, how did you come across the need for such a center? And as a second part of the question, how is the link between the SMEs and education useful in that regard?
Yes, thank you. My name is Sveinar Kleive. I am head of the AI test center. Yes. I also have a small SME myself, and I'm working as a teacher in computer networking. The purpose of this AI test center is to make modern technology easy, understandable, and easy accessible for both students and SMEs. We have a test center located in the school so that the SMEs can join our test center because we have the infrastructure ready for testing, using for the SMEs. Some SMEs that don't want to test out AI in their own production environment, it's too risky for them. Yeah. So then we can give them a chance to test out things with us instead. So it's safe and practical, and it's a place where ideas can quickly become some sort of prototypes for the SMEs they can test out. During a day or two, they can figure out if this is something they want to continue doing or if it's not that.
All right, very insightful. Thank you very much. Turning now to our partners in Lithuania, the Lithuanian Innovation Center. We are aware that you're intending to apply the only once principle, and in order to do so, you have had to make some legal changes. Could you briefly explain why there has been this need for a legal change and what is the scope of the AI legislation that you are drafting?
Okay, hello, my name is Linas Aleksanovs. I'm from Lithuanian Innovation Center, in charge of AI policy and implementation projects. So in our case, because of the EU AI Act, which came into effect last August, 1st of August, together with the EU Data Act, our government made a huge bet on that, because as a region, Vilnius, we are very tech-savvy, as Barcelona, I think so. And we benefited a lot from the blockchain initiative 7, 8, 10 years ago, and now the government says, now this is the next step. We need to capitalize on AI move, to move AI with AI. And the strategy is like this. We need to adopt, so the companies with SMEs adopt the AI, but also not to become hooked to the big providers on the other side of the pond, on the other side of the continent. We creating a value using open source models and not be part of, of the corporate game that is taking place globally. So in order to gain sovereignty, AI sovereignty, the government said, look, we will establish one-stop shop. So the companies could come to us, the ministry established one-stop shop, and the designated authority, innovation agency also, where the companies could come and then test their solutions. So, because according to the EU Act, if you want to provide software or software as a service to any critical infrastructure, to utilities, energy sector, border security services, which is very topical for us, you need to comply with the Act. It means that data should be transparent, accountable, and they cannot be stored on the servers on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean or somewhere else. So they have to be stored here within the EU. And the companies, they need to gain the go-ahead with the solution. If you want to provide a software now solution to our energy utility provider, you have to gain okay from the regulatory authorities. But with the AI, the solutions are under development. So the companies would need to adopt AI or adopt AI agents or systems as part of their existing software as a service solutions, but at the same time get approval. So the government says, look, we'll provide sandbox program. And this year we're starting AI sandbox program, which provides two things. First, access to AI infrastructure. It means GPU server is being set up in Vilnius with support from partners from Singapore, when the hardware is provided by a Taiwanese company, AMD, which is a big player in the gaming GPU market, but not so much in AI GPU market. So they are setting up in Vilnius this GPU server facilities. AI factory is being set up at the cost of 150 million euros, together with the EU support and the local national support, that the companies could come with a solution and test them locally. So inference would be done locally. No data would be provided to external providers, and so on one side, and on the other side, companies have to be trained. So the government said, look, we will give 4 years. So 4 years for something like 5,000 SMEs to get trained. So we are part of this consortium who provides training, will source for trainers and provide lots of training hours using this local inference infrastructure. So we'll not play with GPT or some other, Gemini or whatever. We'll use open source models that will be securely stored in the facility, which has all the required security clearances. So the companies, according to the sandbox roadmap, will have to come up with TRL5, at least TRL5 solution. So, and then they can get free access to the GPU, training, and expertise, plus the regulatory approval, with some exceptions. So, in essence, it means like a company that runs business can adopt AI tools, develop a solution, and then create a new product and propose it to product. So this is the way we try to escape the clutches of becoming subservient to the big chain, big supply chains or big corporates that are 3 or 4 or 5 now here in Europe, and also to address the EU sovereignty, AI sovereignty issue, because in Europe we have only one LLM provider, it's a French company, Mistral, but they are not comparable to what we're facing. On the side, we have maybe 10 or 9 big corporates who are trying to get the EU market. And the companies, SMEs, are very wary. It's not easy to convince them to go and open up their documents, data, because now what's happening is the data is contracts, templates, business lists, supply list, all the very nuanced data that is part of their business model now being put into prompts by staff members, by some people who working in the offices. They are too lazy to do things. They put into the prompts, and these data then being used by big large language models to be trained, and then they end up in the large language models operated by another big country that I will not name it. But then if you put in something, for example, your QR code here, the US LMs would take it. They will not use it, but the third country, the big country, would reverse engineer the stuff, and your QR code will be available to access through these models from that country. So our SMEs are very wary because it's a small country. We are traders, we are commercial people, so we're very wary of that business contacts, addresses, customer details can evaporate, and then could be misused by other competitors or big corporates. And that's why there is an emphasis that each SME should have a computing resource, should access to a safe GPU environment to do inferences and offload some of the operations there. So what we did, we brought together stakeholders, also representative of the business support organization, explain their needs, and helped to define the threshold values for the company to gain access to this sandbox, AI regulatory sandbox. So if you are interested in all these details, we can talk during the break afterwards.
Wow, very insightful. Thank you very much. Very insightful about the concerns of sovereignty and other issues with the use of AI. Turning now to our partners. In Poland, we have both the Marshal's Office and the Development Agency. So you've been working in collaboration with each other, and I would like to ask you, what are the key challenges that your country is facing when it comes to implementing proactive services? And then how can AI help in that regard? And finally, just what has been the nature of your collaborative efforts? How have you been working together?
Not about challenges.
Yeah, well, challenges was the first part. So just answer whatever.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation and organizing this event. My name is Sylwia Stark, and I'm representing the authorities of the Mazovia region, so the biggest region in Poland, with Warsaw in the middle. The PROACTsme project for us is very important, and that is why we are in the partnership from the very beginning. It addresses a real challenge for all regions in Europe, how to support SMEs and make them more resilient and better prepared for future. Probably you know, and if not, I will tell you that Poland is one of the most digitalized countries in Europe. In terms of public services, we really have very many solutions, such as e-government platforms, online tax filing, prescriptions, digital IDs, digital driving license, fully online company registration. So the challenge for us as a region is to ensure that SMEs can equally benefit from this digital ecosystem which already exists. Moreover, Mazovia region is very much diverse. It means that Warsaw and the nearest surroundings, yes, Warsaw and the surroundings are very well developed, like even better than many regions in whole Europe and even some countries in Europe because of its economy and great development. And also we have the Mazovia regional part of our region, which is worse developed, and our authorities really try to make this sustainable development really important. That's the priority of the authorities. So, on one hand, we work both with companies from the metropolitan area and from smaller enterprises from less developed subregions, often with very different levels of digital maturity. So that means that we had to design really flexible and well-tailored solutions for both of these kind of groups of SMEs. So the challenges, I think I can tell you about three main challenges, I would say, from my point of view as a regional authority. First one is to turn the idea of proactivity into practical and operational policy tools. While the concept and the strategic level is really clear for us, we need to translate it into really concrete tools required adopting to already existing different kind of structures, yes, law, financial, administrative frameworks. Second one, I would say that we need to, as far as we can, because it's not always it's possible, but to support the diverse needs of and capacities of SMEs. Because of this diverse, I have already told you, also the SMEs are very much different in different parts of our region, in size, in sector, in development stage. So we have to design really different kind of tools. I would say the whole spectrum, yeah, whole spectrum of this kind of different solutions. And last one, which is actually kind of summary of everything, that companies in Warsaw benefit much more stronger from the ecosystem and from different kinds of resources, while the companies from the peripheral areas often have and face structural gaps requiring place-based policy responses. So we, as the regional authority and my department especially, because our department is responsible for European regional development and European funds. So we really feel addressed for this kind of challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. Karolina Ivaldi, Mazovia Development Agency. We are the sectoral agency for the regional development in Mazovia region. Thank you, Sylvia. You said everything, so nothing left to me. No, okay, we are the agency. I will tell something. Okay, so first of all, how our cooperation looks like. So we as an agency, we have a very good contacts with the SMEs, with the companies, with the business support organizations. So our role is to cooperate directly with the companies. For many years, we were taking a part in the projects that were connected to organizing trade missions or the fair abroad, where we took our SMEs, and we had a lot of possibilities to talk with them. So mainly those contacts stayed with us, and I have to say that this is very helpful, because when we are now here together in the project, I can say that we have a complementary role. So we are more oriented on the client, and our colleagues from the Marshall Office are more oriented on the policy improvements of the policy programs, strategies, and all the things that are needed here to efficiently take a part in those projects. And what is also very important, that we as an agency, we are also taking a part in something what is called Mazovia Innovation Council, and this council is dedicated for many institutions from Mazovia region, so the regional one, public administration one, but also business support organizations, where we share our ideas that may be introduced in the policy documents, and this is also what we are doing here in the project. So we're both discussing the solutions, what we can do, how we can support our SMEs, and I think that one of the most important things for us as a public administration, even we are the company, yes, but public one, is to hear what our clients, so the end beneficiaries, so the SMEs, have to say and what they need. So the worst idea that you can have is to create the tools that nobody will use them, yes? So this is basically our role. So we are in very good contact with the companies, so together we apply thoughts of the SMEs to the regional policies, that they will make sense and that they will be useful. So as I said, we have this very extensive experience in working directly with the businesses and with the companies, business support organization, higher education institutions, and also taking a part in many different projects, not only from the Interreg Europe, Interreg Baltic Sea region, Interreg Central Europe, or a regional operative program, or on the national level. So this all gives us also different point of views that that may be used in the project like PROACTsme. Yes, so because of that we are both from the same region, we always organize all the events together. So there's no cannibalism. Yes. So when we are talking about the regional stakeholder group and meetings and the events, everything is organized together. So we have both actually here this consultative role. So we give an input, different point of views, what may. So how should the agenda look like? What topics we should discuss? I know that we didn't manage to do that, but we had a really good idea how to change the policy instrument, and it was a contest. Yeah, didn't work, but it was also our, and that was also our cooperation. And I think both sides, parties added their experience and different point of views to that idea. What else I can say? Because Sylvia said everything. I think so. I will add only one challenge, which is also for us a big problem. So in Poland, everything is centralized, and as Sylvia said, there is Warsaw and the surroundings, and then nothing. We don't like to say it, but it is like this. And we put a lot of efforts to develop this 5 sub-regions far away from Warsaw, and to give them the opportunities to use the same tools, the same support, the same knowledge as they can find in Warsaw, in a capital of Poland, and digitalizing of the service, public services, is one of those things. And so not only that we will have the possibility of using the digital tools, but also to spread the news about the digital tools. So to change minds of people to use it, and that they won't be afraid, that they will gain trust, and so on, so on. So this is whole a big list of points on the bucket list to be done to encourage people to change point of view and to introduce new services also to the regions, like rural regions and so on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for both of your contributions. Turning now to our partners in Greece, the Organization of Local Development Anatoliki, SA. It is our understanding that you are collaborating with the region of Central Macedonia to offer more personalized services, following the example of Help Empresa. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you have encountered in the implementation of this service?
Muchas gracias, Julia. Para empezar, hola. Muchas gracias por la invitación y por la organización de ese encuentro. My name is Naya Tselepi. I'm representing Anatoliki. It's an organization for local development. It is located in Thessaloniki. It is in northern Greece. And together with the region of Central Macedonia, together with us is Ms. Evdokia Mangu. We draw inspiration from the Help Empresa good practice of this project, and we were really supported by you. Thank you. Then we met and we had many feedback meetings with local chambers in order to grow our idea. Then Anatoliki developed a technical specification study which was reviewed and positively received by the region of Central Macedonia. What was about in it? It was about a structured, AI-enabled and locally tailored service aiming at strengthening local SMEs and about their resilience and their competitiveness. However, the policy improvement in our region is not being completed yet because the mechanism has not been adopted, neither implemented or funded yet, we hope. So, I'm coming to your question about the challenges. What we regard as the biggest one is this moving from the well-prepared technical specification study to a real, a fully operational, sustainable and widely used, in practice used, okay, support mechanism. So this implementation for us requires, first of all, funding, okay, official, formal funding, then administrative coordination, a good structure, okay, procurement procedures, of course, and clear governance structure for us. And of course, to ensure financial commitment over the next 5 years at least, at the beginning. And I'm coming also to the key achievements of the next period, of the next phase, where the key achievement we consider is the official institutionalization and launch of this new digital support mechanism, and to secure this formal funding, not only for these 5 first years. But for most, we hope and we work a lot in order that the SMEs of the region to actively use this service and to experience their first benefits. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Naya. Now I'm going to turn to the advisory partner of this project, which is the University of Limerick. We believe it's the first time for the Chemie Business School within the University of Limerick participating in an Interact program. So my question is very short and very simple. I believe part of it has been answered during the main conference, which was very insightful. But it would be, what has been your biggest takeaway from the participation in this project?
Thanks very much, Julia. I'll be brief in my answer as well, because the project insights are much more impressive than my own. I suppose it is our first Interreg Europe project, so I'm an academic. Okay, in academia, I lecture. I won't lecture you now, but we also research and innovate. So research and innovate is key to our role. Research is the development of new knowledge, the contribution of new knowledge. That's publications, dissemination at events like this. Innovation is the translation of that new knowledge into products, policy, services, etc. Okay, so Interreg Europe and PROACTsme was my first insight into working with policy instrument holders, best practices, public authorities, being right at the coalface of where decisions are made. Okay, so it was no longer researching at a distance. It was talking to public administrations and seeing how they come up with making decisions. So I suppose a key output for me as an academic is research. We've developed new knowledge. 3 papers were presented today, just 4 in the pipeline from this particular project. That's new knowledge that not only we will all benefit together in understanding the collective findings, but actually other public authorities, other public authority academics will be able to use that knowledge and leverage it and build upon it. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing is human capital, next generation of leaders. Okay, so I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about what this project has allowed me to do is bring Eamon Leonard, Emer Owens, who isn't here today, into our PhD program within CERS. They have been excellent. I think everyone up on the stage would agree in making partners talk to each other, share their best practices, and see how one can influence the other. So we've, through the project, we've developed next generation of leadership within public authority, AI, and they are boundary spanners. They can talk to public authorities, they can talk to computer scientists, and they can talk to business, and that's really important. And it's an important skill set that I think will be a legacy of this particular project. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Very, very inspiring. Finally, it is our turn for the Catalan government. This is Natalia from the Oficina de Gestió Empresarial. So The Catalan administration has taken on the challenge of implementing not only data-based proactive services, but also using predictive technologies in order to anticipate the needs of SMEs. My question is, what can you share with us about your experience with the prediction in the context of proactive services? So how does it differ?
Moltes gràcies, Júlia. Primer de tot, agrair-vos a tots. Crec que és un honor per nosaltres, com a líders del projecte, haver liderat aquest projecte i tenir el partenariat que tenim. Mil gràcies a tots. Diguem-ne, aquest projecte a nosaltres ens ha beneficiat en moltes coses, però la primera cosa és el fet de poder testejar. Poder testejar, per una banda, l'analítica de dades, que no hi entraré perquè la Loli Triviño ja ha explicat el que estem fent dintre del departament, però sí en la part de la predicció. I sempre nosaltres hem tingut un focus que sempre diem que quan vols fer un servei segurament has de plantejar-te diferents àmbits en els que has de treballar i has de pensar quins són els canvis organitzatius que necessites, quins són els canvis tecnològics, quins són els canvis jurídics. I aquí, ja en el seu moment, començant per la part jurídica, ja com a mínim vam fer un primer pas, que és tenir un marc legal que ens permetés fer aquests serveis proactius, personalitzats, i que, per tant, ja ens donés pas a abordar o superar tot aquest tema dels consentiments, etc. i tal, que una mica en la primera taula rodona ja s'apuntaven, que en el món privat no existeixen tots aquests consentiments, però ja com a mínim vam preveure que davant una mica d'aquesta mentalitat, no Maite? D'aquesta mentalitat que tenim dintre de l'administració, doncs ja vam inclús pensar-hi en fer el canvi jurídic per si de cas, com a mínim que quan volguéssim fer el servei ja tinguéssim el marc jurídic més d'acord al que nosaltres podríem necessitar. Ara bé, també aprofitant aquests primers pilots una mica, i gràcies també aquí a CECOT, que després parlarà una mica del seu servei, i que això ens ha permès també una mica començar a testejar què significaria aquesta predicció, doncs, clar, necessitem també canvis organitzatius, perquè, per exemple, nosaltres hem fet un primer testeig, conjuntament amb la participació de l'IMERIC i de CECOT, en el tema d'un cas d'ús, que predir la salut financera de les empreses. Clar, doncs ja no només, en el moment que ja penses, per exemple, en un cas d'ús, ja han sortit coses aquí que potser necessitem, que és, primer, podem tenir una tecnologia, una màquina que ens permeti construir aquest algoritme, però quines dades utilitzem per fer aquesta predicció i per predir aquesta salut financera? Quins elements posem allà? Perquè, per exemple, nosaltres diem, nosaltres tenim dades de tramitació. Aquestes dades de tramitació ens poden ajudar a pensar en aquesta salut financera, però és que potser no només les dades de tramitació, sinó que potser també hem de tenir present el nostre context econòmic, etc. Per tant, també, quan volem afrontar aquest tema de la predicció, segurament, a nivell de canvi organitzatiu, primer hem de pensar en això, en pensar en casos d'ús, en els quals tindria sentit plantejar-nos aquesta predicció. Segon, és potser també hem de dotar les nostres unitats d'altres perfils que potser a dia d'avui no en tenim, perquè hem creat sempre perfils reactius, no pas perfils que ens ajudin a pensar en l'estratègia, en aquest context econòmic, etc. i tal. Però en una de les intervencions que vosaltres fèieu i que apuntàveu al tema d'Amazon, del tracking, etc., clar, si ens costa tant fer aquests productes, quan arribem, perquè siguin personalitzats, ja el món privat anirà en una altra línia i, per tant, la predicció, encara que no la puguem fer perfecta, la necessitem abordar i l'hem d'atacar, l'hem de fer, l'hem de preveure. Però l'hem de preveure per això mateix, perquè després les administracions ens costa que tot això surti, que per tant el producte surti, trigarem un temps. Per tant, si no aconseguim també dintre de les nostres unitats preveure i fer predicció, no ens ajudarà a tenir els serveis que la ciutadania després ens demana, perquè si ens esperem a que ens els demanin, arribarem tard sempre. Per tant, segur que també hem de dotar-nos d'aquests perfils i hem de pensar els serveis, que és bàsic que tots ens fem aquesta reflexió de què podríem predir i què ajudarà a les empreses, al teixit empresarial o a la ciutadania en aquesta predicció. I després hem de continuar treballant també en la part de la tecnologia. I per què hem de pensar, quan fem serveis predictius, en la part de la tecnologia? Perquè, per exemple, en l'analítica de dades hem parlat de bases de dades, hem parlat de directoris. Aquí de la Generalitat també tenim la plataforma transversal de dades, però hem de pensar, hem de construir aquests algoritmes, hem de veure on posem tots aquests algoritmes i, per tant, la predicció també ens aborda a que segurament hem d'adaptar les eines tecnològiques perquè aquests serveis puguin ser una realitat.
Moltes gràcies, Natàlia. Finalment, és el torn de Secot. La vostra organització ofereix suport a les pimes que s'han identificat com que tenen problemes de salut financera. Com veieu que el servei de Help Empresa es pot beneficiar de la col·laboració amb la Generalitat en el marc del projecte PROACTsme?
Hola, bon dia a tothom. En primer lloc, moltes gràcies, Júlia, per la pregunta, també per la invitació i l'organització d'aquest esdeveniment. And thank you very much to all of you, and I'm glad to see you again here in Barcelona. I will change to Catalan, I think it's really better. Com diu la Júlia, nosaltres a la CECOT som un partner una mica diferent, no som administració pública pròpiament, sinó que som una entitat patronal molt en contacte amb les pimes del nostre país, i el 2021 vam desenvolupar un servei que es diu Help Empresa, enfocat en primera instància a fer un diagnòstic empresarial de la salut empresarial de les pimes i després, en una segona fase, oferir serveis que serveixin, depenent del resultat del diagnòstic, o bé per ajudar-los a consolidar-se i créixer, reestructurar-se si la situació financera és complicada, o bé acompanyar-les en un tancament honest i ordenat. Sincerament, aquest últim servei no ens agrada. Ens agradaria no oferir-lo. I justament per això considerem que és clau la prevenció. És a dir, posar el focus justament en evitar que les pimes arribin a una situació molt delicada i que, per tant, sigui d'alguna manera impossible evitar el seu tancament. Si ho han de fer, com a mínim que ho facin bé, de manera honesta i ordenada, no desordenadament, però intentar-ho sempre evitar. Nosaltres ja des de l'inici apostem molt per la detecció primerenca contra la insolvència empresarial. De fet, Help Empresa neix d'un projecte europeu, un COSME, de la creació de la xarxa Early Warning Europe, que de fet us convidem a tots a que entreu a la pàgina web i la conegueu bé. Early Warning Europe neix amb aquesta voluntat d'intentar que les pimes de l'entorn d'Europa no tanquin per manca d'una alerta primerenca, és a dir, que la persona empresària no se n'adoni, no sàpiga de la gravetat de la situació del seu negoci abans que sigui massa tard. I malauradament, i aquells que treballem cada dia en pimes, i hem vist alguns exemples a la primera taula rodona, ens n'adonem que les pimes estan molt centrades en el seu dia a dia. I la persona empresària és molt tècnica normalment en el seu, quan estem parlant de pimes, en especial micropimes de menys de 10 treballadors, saben molt de lo seu, però a vegades no són conscients de la realitat econòmica, a vegades no tenen temps de posar el focus en l'estratègia empresarial i van al dia a dia. I de sobte obren la mirada i se n'adonen que tenen un nou competidor, una nova tecnologia, estats financers que decauen dia a dia i no se n'havien adonat. I jo crec que aquí tant institucions privades com institucions públiques tenim no només la capacitat, sinó crec el deure d'ajudar aquestes pimes a alertar-les i dir, hi ha alguna cosa que aquí no funciona i és millor treballar-la avui, perquè demà serà massa tard. En aquest sentit, i contestant la pregunta de la Júlia, jo crec que la CECOT i en concret el servei de Help Empresa ens ha ajudat moltíssim aquesta participació en aquest projecte. Ens ha ajudat, en col·laboració amb la Universitat de Limerick, a entendre bé que pot haver-hi models que ens ajudin a millorar també la nostra predicció. Nosaltres també hem alimentat aquest model per ajudar a la coconstrucció. Crec que hi ha molt marge de maniobra. De fet, Help Empresa no podem oferir directament serveis d'alerta primerenca perquè són les empreses que venen a nosaltres. Per moltes eines que desenvolupem, si l'empresa no les vol utilitzar i no ve a nosaltres, doncs no les podrem utilitzar. Per tant, aquí hi ha molt marge de maniobra encara de col·laboració amb la Generalitat per dialogar i per veure com podem continuar co-creant eines que ajudin a les pimes a conèixer la seva situació i un cop detectada, igual que a Help Empresa ens agrada dir que som el metge de capçalera de les pimes, és a dir, un cop a l'any almenys jo vaig al metge de capçalera, em faig una analítica i el metge em diu, escolta Laura, tot fantàstic, I jo, doncs, molt bé, fins l'any que ve, no? O a vegades doncs, pot haver-hi algun valor que ens surt alterat. Tenim dues opcions aquí. Podem no fer res, sí? I continuar business as usual, no? Que es diu, o bé prendre consciència i actuar i prendre mesures. No? Doncs això és el que volem a Help Empresa, és a dir, que hi hagi punts de control i si pot ser de manera automatitzada molt millor per part de l'administració i a partir d'aquí que nosaltres de Help Empresa o des d'altres serveis que puguin haver-hi ajudem a les pimes que vulguin prendre consciència i agafar les regnes de la situació de cara a millorar-la i evitar doncs, situacions de distrès empresarial. I a partir d'aquí molts altres reptes també per davant, és a dir, des de col·laboracions com, per exemple, gràcies també a l'agència Natoliki i a la Naia, que vam fer un pilot per veure si podia tenir sentit exportar aquest model i aquesta manera de treballar amb les pimes i també altres col·laboracions que es puguin esdevenir a futur, justament per això. Al final crec que tots estem aquí per això, per ajudar a les pimes, en aquest cas del nostre país, però també de tota Europa, a evitar el seu tancament.
Correcte, moltes gràcies, Laura. Doncs no sé si hi hauria alguna pregunta a algun dels socis o si algú voldria fer algun comentari. Sí.
Hello, everybody. I'm here representing the region of Central Macedonia, and we are very involved to take the good practice of Empresa and apply to our region. My question to you is this. How did you earn the trust of the companies to trust you with their economics, their strategy? Because those are competitive elements, and maybe it's their secret to remain competitive in the market. This is a big thing. What exactly did you do to earn this trust? What do you apply? Any tips on this? Any guidance? This is my main.
Okay, thank you very much for your question.
Thank you.
I think that what we are doing in Help Empresa to earn this confidence is just to have one-to-one advisory services. So, for instance, we don't give all the information that the enterprise provides us to anyone else that our consultancy team. This is the first point. Afterwards, I think that it's very important to implement Help Empresa service or something similar to that, to have a public-private collaboration as well, because we are providing all these services for free for the SMEs. So I think that it's a key point, because if a SME needs to pay for this service, it cannot afford the cost. So we as a private non-profit organization, we can help as well public administration to implement all these services, and in fact we are paying as well, and we are putting our own resources to help SMEs, but we need this public-private collaboration to provide for free all our services. And last point, I think that are results. So I don't mention that, but this last year in 2025, we did a study based on all the SMEs that has been assessed in the past by Help Empresa, and 86% of our companies are still alive after receiving our services. So for us, it's a very important data, because when we are talking about preventive service to prevent insolvency, to have this high rate of survivance rate, I think it's important. So I think that, for instance, it will be my answer. Results, also public-private consultancy, and for sure to make sure that all the data that the enterprise provides us remain by our own. We don't spread this data and all this information. You're welcome.
All right. Any other questions? Més preguntes? Oh, yeah. You may, sure.
Because we have also a very wide experience in cooperating with the companies. So answering your question also, maybe this is not the same type of advisory or consulting that you are doing, because we are still public administration, so we can not do. We can inform, yes, we can provide the information and so on, but what is very important and was very, very important for us was to change how the SMEs are seeing the public administration. So that we are not only the public officers, but we also can help them, and it is not like, okay, sign the paper and that's all and bye. So we talk with them, so we are trying to understand their problems and provide such an information, because we are working as an information broker that will help them to find, for example, such advisory or consulting or the information they need, and to work on their problems and find the solutions.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, ¿alguna pregunta més? No? Si no, doncs ho deixaríem aquí. Moltes gràcies. Thank you all very much for your contributions. It's been very insightful. Thank you.
Bueno, simplement per tancar l'acte, agrair moltíssim la participació a tothom. Aquest projecte acaba tota la seva fase d'intercanvi d'experiències més o menys amb aquest acte. Ara simplement ens quedarà un any pel davant on, com us han explicat, cada soci tenen els seus reptes i per tant intentaran aplicar-los en cadascuna de les seves regions. Agrair-vos novament la participació i haver arribat fins aquí avui, un dia complicat de mobilitat, i estem en contacte i simplement que hi penseu, que tots hi pensem en aquests serveis proactius i què podem fer per ser més eficients amb aquestes necessitats del teixit empresarial. Gràcies.